Friends and fans, you're back with Joey Ciccone, connected live in Las Vegas. This is the only exclusive show on the World Center of Broadcast Media. You ain't going to find it in Vegas. I don't think you're going to find it anywhere else. It's right here. We do it right here. Made guys, connected guys, guys that are associated with movies, acting, music. As you know, I was with Miles. I was with a lot of people. I got to get right back with my special guest, Michael Resigliano. Maron. And when I watched the movie, it got me so excited. Mike, here we go. I'm going to start popping some. I want to act like Geraldo a little bit. I got my little pen here. Here we go, baby. What made you write this movie and why?
I wrote this movie. I didn't grow up in Brooklyn. My family is from Brooklyn, and my father was born and grew up in Brooklyn. And I grew up out on Long Island.
Yeah.
And growing up, a lot of my bedtime stories were what it was like growing up in Brooklyn. You know, what it was like growing up in the Depression, what it was like growing up when no one had any money, and how you would barter for everything. My uncle was the priest at Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church. My whole family was involved with the Feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel, lifting the Giglio. So when it came time, you know, when I wanted to write a story, you know, what better place to draw upon than your own memories, you know, growing up. And that's how I learned about Brooklyn. It wasn't from going there or living there. It was through my father and my relatives telling me great stories of the community, of the church, of how everyone looked out for each other. And when I wrote The Brooklyn Banker, I wanted to really encapsulate what it was like, very realistically, what it was like living in Williamsburg at that time, at a time that I wasn't even, you know, I was just born. But from the stories I had heard, you know, this is what the sense I got.
Those stories stayed with you, as in my life, which I'm a lot younger, but the bottom line is all the things that I went through. I don't even want to get into them right now, but the point of the matter is they stayed with me. They stay with me now. I pass them on to my daughter. It's a part of our life. This movie takes place in 1973. I just want to tell you, I don't know if you were around. I was 13 years old. I just gave my age away. It was a great time, brother.
You know what? It takes place in 73, and one of the reasons that I wrote it to take place in 73, because as you watch the film, you know, there's a banker involved, and you know, and he kind of gets put into a very tough spot. The banker being played by Troy Garrity, who is on HBO Ballers. He plays opposite The Rock on HBO's Ballers, and he actually a very talented guy. And he gets put into a box by Paul Sorvino. But the way he gets put into the box, it's something that could happen back in '73. It wouldn't happen today with computers and with all the technology. Back in '73, you know, the main character is kind of like a savant with numbers.
Right.
And, you know, that's very valuable. That would have been very valuable to someone, you know, in organized crime back then, because you could, you know, they made their money through the book a lot of times. You were able to keep those numbers in your head.
Totally, and not to cut you off, I mean, you know, and I don't want to give the movie away because I want people to go buy it and watch it, and I don't want to tell all the stories away. But when you don't have to use a ledger, my friends, all right? I mean, the bottom line is if you got it all in your head, forget about it. I like to be around a lot of bankers. I read you're an attorney. Do you still practice law?
I still do practice law. A lot of the writing that I do for any of the projects that I have, you know, I do at night or I do early in the morning. You know, I still practice, not as much as I used to, because the film industry, you know, working on projects and trying to keep that ball rolling takes a lot of time. And it takes a lot of time, you know, in odd hours. You know, a lot of times you're out at night or you're. So I do still practice, but not as much as I was.
Beautiful. I got some of my friends in here. Fletch, my buddy Fletch, and where's Vinny Fletch? I don't know. These guys come back every week. I love you guys. Joey, did you have anything to do with this? No, I wasn't in this film. I would hope to be maybe down the road involved in something. We always meet new and great people, but no, I'm here to promote my new friend, and that's what I do. Jill, Joey, no gun today, right? No, you don't see it on the table, but I might have it with me. Gabish? All right, we're moving on. Is this a true story or a story of the times?
It's a story of the times. It's not a true story. It's a lot of the characters and a lot of the little stories that are within the film are based on just things that I had heard growing up. So there's no real story that it's technically based on or it's somebody's life. It's really an idea that came from little stories that you heard going on, and then weaving an entire story around that.
Right, and the thing is this: when Papa told you stories, I'm sorry, but may my dad rest in heaven. 72,
Okay.
72, he passed away.
I call my father Papa anyway. So yeah.
And by the way, you named John Bianco's character Carmine, and that was my dad's name, so that touched me. But like he used to tell me, when he told me a story, I know it was real. I know it was legit. Okay, and that's one thing. How well has it been received? The bottom line, how well has it been received? I know it's only been maybe 4 or 5 weeks.
It's been well received, but interestingly, and this is one of the things that we had touched upon, Joey, is the fact that it's a different take on what it was like growing up in Brooklyn. There's an organized crime element in the film. There's no question about it. But it really is from the point of view of a legitimate guy. So it's not a glorification of that life. It's really from the point of view. If you were a legitimate guy growing up in Brooklyn, organized crime, those are the boogeymen. You know what I mean? You didn't want any part of that. And if you were brought into that life, even peripherally, and you weren't used to that, or you weren't used to the type of pressure that these guys can exert,
right?
You're in a tough spot, and that really is what the film is based on, from the point of view of the banker, the guy who really just wants to come home at night and have pasta with his family. The guy that wants to hopefully buy a house and move out to the suburbs.
Well, go ahead.
I think a lot of people. Go ahead.
Well, that's what I like, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but my train of thought right now is on this. That's what I liked about it. It wasn't taken from La Cosa Nostra, Omerta side of things. It was taken from the other side. What if you were in that situation? And I don't want to give the movie away, but I want to talk about very important things. Let me ask you something. Did you have Federico in mind to direct? I mean, come on.
I did, because Federico directed the short film. I had met him originally a few years back when I just had a short film that I had written, and I was introduced to him through a mutual friend.
Thanks, Scott.
And I had this idea, and I'd like to do a short film, and Federico was directing. And basically he was like, "All right, I'll look at it as a courtesy to the guy that introduced us, because who am I? I'm an attorney. I'm a guy who's got a script. It's like one of those things." And luckily, he read it and he really loved it. And he said, "I love it. Let's do it. I'll get everyone. I'll take care of everything." And he was great to put the team together. He got Paul Sorvino. He got Arthur Nascarella.
I love it.
Got John Bianco.
I love it. Now, who? I don't mean to interrupt you, but who was that again? Who was that person?
Arthur Nascarella.
Who was the one that put all this together for you?
Oh, he was just a mutual friend of ours. He was a guy that I represented. It was just a mutual friend of ours that was actually in the art world.
Yeah.
And he knew Federico because Federico is a famous artist, and he's just an unbelievably talented artist.
Right.
Well, he put us together on that.
Well, do me a favor, all right? Give him my email, website, my private number that you have. Have him call me. We gotta talk. All right. That's a little joke. You're watching the Joey Ciccone show. Michael. All right. Resigliano, got writer and producer. the Brooklyn banker. You're watching the Joey Ciccone Show, connected, World Center of Broadcast Media. I'm here live in Vegas. Chat in. We'll be right back.